We have to break with the filming every 10 minutes because YouTube only takes a film that's 10 minutes long. So all of the things we make have to be under 10 minutes. So this is why there seems quite a lot of breaks in all of the filming. During this break, Jake's sun measurements have magically appeared on his arm. And I pretty much did this in the same way as I did the sun measurements on his legs. Got my piece of paper, folded it in half, in half again, and then into thirds. Once I had that measurement, it's pretty easy to just transfer that up his arm. So that's how I made the sun measurements today. We've looked at small intestine number 4. I'm now going to look at small intestine number 5, and this is known as Yang Valley. The position of the patient is supine with the forearm pronated. So there we go. It's on the ulnar surface of the wrist flexure between the triquelateral bone and the stalenoid process of the ulna. Here I can just show you the stalenoid process of the radius. Here is the top of this radial bone, and this bone here is also the bone that we're looking for. So I'm going to place the point here just between this bottom bone of the hand and this stalenoid process of the ulnar bone, which is there, not the radius over there. The stalenoid process of the ulna here. So I'll feel that by feeling the bump at the top of the ulnar bone here, and if I palpate Jake's hand, should allow me to feel just into the snuff box here in his hand there. So I'll place small intestine 5 there into that gap. Moving on to here, to small intestine number 6. This is quite sweetly named. This is nourishing the old. It's on the posteromedial surface of the forearm, just proximal to the flare of the head of the ulna, between the tendon of the extensor carpi ulnaris muscle and the groove of the medial surface of the head of the ulna. This groove terminates proximal to the head of the ulna as it passes between the head of the stalenoid process. With the forearm in the pronated position, the tendon of the extensor carpi ulnaris muscle lies in this groove. So the groove we're looking for really here is the stalenoid process of the ulnar bone. So we're just looking proximal to the flare of the head of this ulna, and as we mentioned earlier, proximal is towards the body. So if I feel the bump in the ulnar bone, I'm looking just behind it, just here. It's been between the tendon of the extensor carpi ulnaris muscle and the groove of the medial surface of the head of the ulna. So medial is towards the body, towards the middle, so I'm looking just across here, and if I ask Jake to wiggle his fingers, I should be able to feel some tendon movement there. And yeah, I can feel the dip as he is doing that. So I'm going to put this point just there. So that's small intestine number 6. Small intestine number 7 is the upright branch. It's a junction point. It's on the posterior surface of the arm. So I'm looking at the back of the arm here. On the posterior border of this extensor carpi ulnus muscle, on the ulnar bone, 5 sun proximal to small intestine 5 at the wrist flexure. So here we are, here's my wrist flexure here, and I'm looking 5 sun, which is here. So this is where I'm looking for this muscle. If I look again for the extensor carpi ulnus muscle. I'm trying to look on this picture here, but I think it's not named. No, so this is the muscle I'm looking for along this seam here. And if you move your fingers, there's some movement here. Just here. So 5% would appear to be there. And if I feel, you stop wiggling now, hon. Feel in the depth. I'm going to put this point here. And that's 7 there. If I look at small intestine number 8 now, which is the last point that we're going to be looking at, it's on the medial aspect of the flexure of the elbow. So as you can see now, this is the elbow flexure where we've marked the top of our sun measurements. It's halfway between the ocelluron of the ulnar bone and the medial epicondyle of the humerus bone. So if I look here, if I raise your elbow here, I'm looking halfway between the epicondyle here and here. And if I feel just here, there's quite a nice dip that it will go in. So that's the small intestine channel. As you see, it comes along the side of the hand, over here, along this joint, and then rolls back down to the elbow. I'm going to thank Grant for filming for me. Thank you, Grant. And I'm going to thank Jake for modelling for me. Thank you.